Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope my voice is loud enough. But yeah, welcome back to my channel. I know we're in a car today because I'm currently on break from work. Yes, I'm on break, and we're just going to do like a recent read. So yeah, anyway, I haven't made a wrap-up video in like 3 months and counting, so I'm just here to get it over with, because I have been struggling to find time to film content or edit. Like, I'm not free at all throughout this week, including the weekend. So I'm on break right now, so I'm just like, let me come and film this wrap up. We need to get this thing done with, like, I started making this video like I think almost a month now. I tried to make my wrap up for August, July and August, but it didn't work out because of 1 or 2 reasons. I could not finish filming that video, so we're going to continue. So what I'm going to do is basically play that clip for you, like the ones already recorded. We'll play, then we'll come back here and I'll talk about the other books that I read and haven't done a wrap up for yet. So yeah, that's basically what we're going to do. First book I read in the month of July. Okay, I honestly don't have anything to say about the first 2 books, but the first book I read was Solo Leveling Volume 4. So this book follows my man Sun Ji-woo. He's like my latest boyfriend in my ever-growing list of boyfriends. But it follows Sun Ji-woo, and it's in this world, set in Korea, in this fictional world where there are people called hunters, and hunters are basically people that are able to fight demons in a new, like, I think a new world. So basically there are these gates that appears in different places, and hunters are people that are able to pass through that gate and go and fight the monsters that exist behind the gates. And then Sun Ji-woo, my man, he's like an E level, and there are like different ranks to these hunters, and Sun Ji-woo is like the lowest of the low, is like rank E. And so one day he goes on this expedition with this group of experienced hunters, and they enter this mysterious gate, which they did not know at the time, but happens to be like a very high level gate, which means that he's not supposed to go into that gate because it's the level is too much for him basically. So they accidentally enter this gate without knowing that this is a restricted gate for them, because the monsters at that gate, they are like devil demons, something like that. And then they enter, and somehow like half of the team is wiped out, and then Sun Ji-woo and like maybe 1 or 2 people are like the only survivors. And after this, after miraculously surviving this particular expedition, Sun Ji-woo starts noticing that his powers are growing, like he's leveling up, and yeah, something like that. That was a terrible description. When I finish the manhwa, I will be able to like give a proper review, but for now just take what I say. And yeah, so basically Sun Ji-woo discovers that he's leveling up, something like that. And yeah, the manga goes from there. It's really cool. I really like the artwork. Yes, that's how they call it. I really like the artwork, and the story, it's very engaging. I'm really enjoying it. I gave this particular volume 4 stars. Then the next book I read in the month of July, I read Spy Family Volume 4 and 5. So far so good. Really loving this manga series. In general, I love this. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. That's all I'm going to say. For people that don't know what Spy Family is about, Spy Family is basically about this family. We have Twilight, he's the father, and he's a spy who was sent to the country where this manga takes place in order to discover a secret that will bring about peace. We have Yor, the mother, who is an assassin, and Anya, the daughter, who is an expert, meaning she can read minds. And then we have these 3 people trying to keep their secrets from each other, while also trying to pretend to be a normal family and bring about world peace. It's very chaotic. The family, Yor, Twilight, and Anya, they are very chaotic people, and it's a very funny, very wholesome manga series. It has an anime, which I think they started, I don't know when, but the anime started this year. They released the first season this year. I have not watched the anime yet because I want to finish reading the manga, or at least be up to date with the manga before watching the anime. But I read the next book I read in the month of, I think I read this book in July, was Ace of Spades by Farida And so I have a copy of Ace of Spades. I just went to pull it out, and oh my god, this book, I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. The drama, I don't even know if I should call it drama, but like the things that happen in this book, I was just shocked. I think my summary on Goodreads was why people moving mad all day for 400 pages. Okay, why people moving mad all day every day for 400 pages. That happened in this book, I was just like, what the hell? It's honestly, for me, it had that Gossip Girl vibe to it. Like, I feel like it really honored the gossip. Like, this book was pitched as Gossip Girl meets Get Out, and I was honestly feeling the Gossip Girl vibe in it. This young man right here, Devon, I love Devon. Devon is like my favorite character. I honestly did not really care for Chiamaka. Like, I got her point, like, what, like, I understood the situation. This, I didn't really like, oh, she's a mean girl, I don't like her, that kind of thing. I didn't really care for it. But the things these people in this book make her go through was something else. And yeah, so I didn't really like, I understood that she was a teenager doing the best she could to survive in her school. So I guess the mean girl thing, I didn't really like, oh, hate her for it or like her for it or whatever. But I really liked Devon as a character. So this book basically followed 2 characters, Chiamaka and Devon, and they are like the only black students in this private school. And yeah, they're the only black students, and Chiamaka became a head girl. Devon is like a senior prefect at the school, and things start going wrong. Their secrets, like after they made head girl and senior prefects, someone, an anonymous texter, whatever they call them, I think the person is known as Abe, starts releasing their secrets to the school, and yeah, things go south from there. I really enjoyed it. I feel like this is a very engaging book. Like, the minute you start it, you can't put it down, because you're just like, okay, who is releasing the secret? What's the next secret that's going to come out? Like, what's going to happen next? That kind of thing. And I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. But it was like a 4-star read. I would recommend. Hi guys, welcome back. Anyway, not necessarily welcome back. I'm here again because something is after me. Like, something does not want me to make this video. Like, it's been 2 months since I've been trying to make a wrap up, and yeah, anyway, so I lost some of the videos for this wrap up, like 3 reviews. I can't find the video anywhere, so we're going to have to redo that part now. That's what I'm here for. So anyway, let's just get into it, because me, I'm tired. I don't want to again, but we just have to finish this thing. Okay, so the first book we're going to talk about is The Spanish Love Deception, and yeah, I gave this one 2 stars. In my previous video, like the previous video I had for this particular review, I was ranting, saying a lot of things. Now I don't even have the strength, so I'm going to make it really quick. I didn't enjoy this book at all for various reasons. For one, I felt like the book was trying to do too much at once, and the book is like 500 pages long. So number one, it's already too long for a romance book. I don't think any romance book, except that book, has like some really deep, attention grabbing plots, and this one did not, obviously. But like, I don't think a romance book generally has any business with like over 500 pages. Like, why are you so long, first of all? So anyway, this book was too long. It was trying to do too much, trying to throw in too many tropes. Like, there's enemies to lovers, there's office romance, there's fake dating, there's slow burn, I feel like, yeah, I think those are the ones that I can remember off the top of my head. It was trying to do too much at once, and at the end of the day, it just ends up messing up all these tropes, because number one, the enemies to lovers was not given at all, because it was just basically all in the female main. Her name is Katarina. Everything was just in her head. Like the first time we meet her, she's like, oh, this person, like, hates him, blah blah blah, he did this to me. Like, the reason why she hates him, like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't think it's enough. Like, I get why she's like, oh, okay, she doesn't like this person. I get it, like, okay, but I don't think it's enough to justify the enemies to lovers, because even from the very first time we see the young man, he's acting like a simp. It's very obvious, very clear to anybody with anybody reading this book that this young man is a simp. He really likes her, and he's here talking about, oh, he hates me, he's always doing this to me. If anything, I think the only problem she had with him is that the young man was giving off borderline stalker vibes. Like, the way he always knew where she was going, what she likes to eat, and he's supposed to be her enemy, but like, he knows so many things about her. I swear to you, this young man was giving me, like, I feel like her biggest problem, like, the thing she should have been worried about is that, is this young man actually a stalker? Because he knew virtually everything about her, and this is somebody that she's supposed to like hate. Like, they're supposed to hate. The essence that enemies to lovers means it's not a one-sided hate, it should be like two ways. He's supposed to hate her, but from the start he's offering to help her, and I'm confused. Like, how is this young man your enemy? So like, the enemies to lovers was already rubbish from the start. Then all the other tropes thrown in the mix, and they should have just stayed as fake dating. I feel like it's I don't think there's a way to not do fake dating well. So I feel like the author should have just stick with that one trope and worked on it. The book would have been shorter if she had just stayed with one thing. Anyway, she tried to do too much. I feel like that was one of the reasons why this book was too long, and one reason why this book did not really work out is that we are stuck in this young lady, Katarina. We're stuck in her head for 500 pages of her denying the very obvious truth that this young man is in love with her. He's a simp, basically. Like, it's like this young man will buy her favorite coffee, and she'll be like, oh, he's buying this because he's my enemy, because he knows I'm not going to drink. Like, she just comes with the stupidest reasons why somebody would do something nice for you, and it's like, girl, why are you being intentionally oblivious? It's not cute. It wasn't cute in page 1. It's not cute now in page 499. Like, it was very clear to, like, just read 2 chapters of this book, you already know that this boy likes her. So why is she now from, oh, she was not from, oh, he doesn't like me, he probably doesn't want to sit in the same room. I was like, girl, please, I don't have patience. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. I was not happy. This book stressed me. Like, I'm just glad that I listened to the audiobook, which meant like I put it in like at ×3 speed, so it will finish on time. But yeah, I did not enjoy this book at all. It stressed my life out. Yeah, I honestly feel like I would have liked this book maybe if the author had reduced the amount of tropes she was trying to work into it. Like, if there was no slow burn, that was another thing. There was slow burn because the young lady was in her head all the time saying, oh, he doesn't like me, probably hates my guts. So like, they don't get together till like 80-85% of the book, because she's in denial. She's gaslighting herself to believe that somebody does not like, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that happens. There's slow burn, enemies to lovers for a very stupid reason, honestly. Like, she's like, oh, I heard him doing this and that, and so he's my enemy. Like, I'm not saying it's stupid that, because he said some things about her that made her feel some type of way, valid, whatever. But now trying to build the whole trope around it, like, it's the reason for the hate. It's not what it honestly, and the final reason is that he actually doesn't hate her. It's not even a, oh, maybe he liked her from the beginning, but when you're reading the book initially, you won't actually be able to tell. You can't tell. That's my problem. You can't tell from the start that he likes her. He's a simp. This young man was borderline stalking her. That's how bad it is. How can that be your enemy? He's like, from the start, like, this book is basically her trying to get someone to go to pretend to be her fake boyfriend for her, I think, her cousin's wedding in Italy, Spain, sorry. That's like this entire book. And
from the very first page, like, this is not even a spoiler, this young man offered to be her fake boyfriend. Like, would, like, if I am your enemy now, no, let's reason this thing. If I am your enemy, like, we hate each other, like, we work in the same, this, maybe we're office rivals, like, we're competing for the same position, which, by the way, it's not even something in this book. Like, if maybe they were office rivals, now they were competing for the same post, they worked, maybe they worked together, they always sabotaging each other work or something, the enemies to lover would have made sense more. They are not even rivals, he's her boss, number one. So it's not like there's this thing. And anyway, so, like, if I'm your enemy now, we work in the same office, and then I, for one reason or another, overhear that you have something to attend and you can't go because you don't have a boyfriend and it's going to shame you or whatever, would I willingly, like, as your enemy, would I now offer myself up, like, oh, let me be your fake boyfriend to go? Like, does that even make sense? How can I, like, if I'm your enemy, I will even look for how to bring up about your downfall, your disgrace at that wedding. That would be my plan. Anyway, I was annoyed. Yeah, and another thing, like, the very last thing I'm going to talk about on this young lady and this book is, the book was repetitive because, like I said, young ladies in her head denying very obvious facts, pretending to be oblivious, gaslighting herself basically. And yeah, because of that, there's obviously going to be repetition because she's saying the same thing over and over again. She's either, oh, he doesn't like me, probably hates me because of, oh no, I don't think he, yeah, that's like, it's basically saying the same thing, like regurgitating the same thing page after page of this girl being in denial of something that is very obvious. So there's a lot of repetition in this book. This month was okay, I think. I honestly don't know because I started skipping pages at some point. So by the time we got to the spots, I wasn't really interested enough to find out how good this month would be. So I skipped it because I did not care. Anyway, I gave this 2 stars. I even feel like I should demote it to 1 star, but I think I enjoyed the beginning. I'm not sure. So I'm just going, and the cover, I like the cover. So I'm just going to leave it at 2 stars because I cannot, like, I regret reading this book. I'm just glad that I did not waste my money and buy it, that I listened to the audiobook first. Like, sometimes audiobooks save me from disasters because this book was a disaster. So the next book I'm going to talk about is Four Aunties and a Wedding, and this is the second book after Dial A for Aunties. If you've read Dial A for Aunties, I highly recommend reading this book because although this book is not as good as the first book, I feel like the initial, the novelty of the first book kind of wears off, and so the second book isn't as, I don't know, when I read the first book, I was just shocked because the aunties were something else. So I feel like the novelty wears off, and so the second book isn't as good as the first book was, but I still enjoyed it. I would recommend this book if you've read the first book and you really liked it, because this one feels like you're just going back to visit these characters for the last time. Just watch them do very crazy things. Like, I swear these aunties are unhinged. They just, I don't know, but they're just wild. So, like, I recommend this book if you've read the first book and you really enjoyed it, because this one is not as good as the first book. So reading this one is just like you're going back to see some crazy characters do crazy things for the last time. Because yeah, I think there's not going to be another book relating to this series. So yeah, that was like my recommendation. So I don't want to give spoilers for book 2 or book 1 by telling you the synopsis of book 2, so I'm just going to say a little bit about book 1. Book 1 is basically about this young lady. Her name is Melanie Mindy. She has a name, Dobby. I can't remember her name, but basically she is set up on a date with a young man by her aunties, but accidentally ends up killing her date. So now she has to find a way to hide the body with the help of her mom and aunties, while also trying to plan a very big Indonesian wedding. As a result, it's a lot. Plus her first love also comes into the scene. Anyway, this book is a lot. It's wild. Her aunties and her mom, they are just, I don't know, they are my heroes. I love them. I look up to them. I really enjoyed book one. Book two, not as good, but I still enjoyed it. I would recommend. You can read book two as a standalone. I'm not saying you should not read book two. I feel like you would enjoy book two more if you read book one. So you kind of like already have a foundation with the character. So you just go into book two for a good time, because if you just want to read book two first, I don't know, you might be a bit disappointed, underwhelmed, because it's not as good as book one. So I feel like book two is something you should read after reading book one, because then you have like a foundation. You already established who these characters are, so it'll be easier for you to flow with them. Even if it's not as good, you still enjoy it a lot. Talk about is American Royalty. Anyway, so this book had a lot of potential. Okay, let me tell you what it's about first. I always do this thing backwards. Anyway, so American Royalty is supposed to be like red, white, and royal blue vibes. Then, yeah, like red, white, and royal blue vibes, but with a black woman at the center. So it's kind of like if a Prince of England, is it Prince of England they so call them, I don't know, like the Prince of England or whatever their title is, decides to date someone like a popular American rapper, like maybe Nicki Minaj or Cardi B or any other one, Megan Thee Stallion, you know them now. Like if, yeah, basically the Prince of England or the Duke, I don't know their titles, I'm sorry, but like the Prince of England, we're just going to leave it with that, decides to date an American rapper. That's basically like the best way I can summarize this book. So there's this rapper, her name is Duchess, and she's invited to perform at the memorial service of the late king. Yeah, is it king now? Yeah, I think it's king, either king or prince. Well, basically the prince's father. She's invited to perform at the memorial service, and then she meets the prince, they fall in love, blah blah blah, you get it. Anyway, this book I gave 2 stars. First of all, the cover is gorgeous, so I was disappointed, deeply disappointed to say the least, that this book did not live up to the cover. Anyway, I just felt like this book had a lot of potential that it did not live up to. Like, for instance, the romance in the book, I didn't really buy it, because it felt like the characters were in lust, not in love. Because from the start, the prince, he is already, like, the very first time the prince meets her, he's attracted to her. Like, she has a really nice body, basically, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, he's really attracted to her and he likes her body. There was even a scene where he was stimulated due to her body. Like, I feel like throughout this book, the way the book was written, the characters were mostly focused on each other's bodies. Like, oh, he has muscles, she has this, you know, that kind of thing. Like, we never see them bond on a, will I say, intellectual level, or like a personal level that did not necessarily involve them sleeping with each other. Like, every time they interacted, it was either they were deeply aroused, like attracted to each other, and yeah, either they were trying to contain themselves or they were just tearing their clothes off their body, that kind of thing. So like, I never felt like they connected on a deeper level, except the physical attraction that they were very obviously attracted to each other with. Anyway, so that was like the main thing. Like, I didn't really buy into the romance, because it just felt like they were just in lust. They just liked to sleep together because they liked each other's bodies and decided to engage in coitus. So anyway, I didn't really buy into the romance. Plus, I would have loved to see them, because this book basically takes place like 2 weeks or so during the time of the memorial service, concert thing, whatever. And I would have liked to see how they would have navigated their relationship after the whole thing. Like, they were, throughout this book, the couples, they were stuck in a bubble. Like, they were in this cottage together most of the time. They didn't really like go out, or like, I would have liked to see how they would navigate their relationship outside this thing, because the book takes place within 2 weeks. I would have liked to see them outside when like she goes back to America to continue her career. He stays back in England to like do princely duties, I assume, and see how they would have been able to navigate their relationship with, like, because it will obviously be like long distance, and yeah, just really explore the ups and downs of dating royalty or dating someone that's a super popular celebrity. Yeah, like see how their lives would have clashed, because obviously she's like this really popular celebrity and she wears a lot of, like, I'm just going to, for this sake of this video so I can explain myself properly, she wears like revealing clothes, does a lot of dancing on stage and everything, and then he's like from the palace with all these strict rules. I would have liked to see how they would, when these two worlds finally clash together and they're dating, see how like the whole thing, like how everything is just going to clash and merge. And you get me, you know that the British royalty, they have like a lot of rules and different things. Like you see it now, you know the couple I'm trying to refer to right now. So I would have liked to see the author like try and explore that, especially since the main female character is a black woman. See how the relationship dynamic would have been when you bring in palace rules and everything. I'm not saying they had to, like, she has to go deep, but like she should have at least given me something to work with. I would have liked to see how like their relationship will be able to withstand external forces, because to be honest, I did not really think they were in love with each other. It was kind of rushed, because like they only knew each other for like 1 or 2 weeks, and then at the end they were like, oh, I love you, I can give up my title for you, that kind of thing. Like I would have loved, and I didn't really buy it, because I don't really believe they liked each other that much. So yeah, I would have liked to see them going through some relationship, you know, ups and downs, to really, so that it will look more believable, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I think that was like my main issue. I didn't really buy into the romance. Yeah, I think that was like my main issue with this book. The romance was not romancing, basically. Yeah, anyway, this book had a lot of potential. For me, this book had a lot of potential that it ended up just not using. So great cover, great idea, execution wasn't so good, but you know, you win some, you lose some. So anyway, I gave this 2 stars. We'll go back to the main video now. Thank you so much. I'll see you later. So this car is hot, so I'm sweating a lot. I hope this video doesn't look weird because of the, yeah, guys, this place is hot. The things I do for the things I'm doing for you guys, honestly, you don't know how hard I'm working for this channel. Anyway, so the next book I read was The House of Rust, and yeah, I honestly don't think I completely understood what I read, but I read this book. So this is about a young lady. I think her name is Khadija or something like that. I feel like I got the name wrong, so I put her name here. But yeah, it basically follows her life. It's this, for me, this book is like no plot, just vibes. Like it's more character based. Like just we follow this character's life than it having a concrete plot that you can follow. There's no plot, just vibes. Anyway, so this young lady now, her father goes missing after going for, like, he's a fisherman or something like that, and then he goes to get fish one day and doesn't come back for like I think close to a week. And so her grandmother is like, okay, he's not coming back. Instead of killing myself with anxiety and just waiting and waiting, and then yeah, like instead of continue to be in pain, that she's just going to bury him, like do his burial without his body. And the young lady now, she's like, she doesn't believe that her father is dead, so she enters a boat and then she sets out to the sea, and she's like, she's going to find her father and bring him back. That's like the basic story of it. A lot of things happen, like everything I just described, like the first part of the book, and then things occur in the second half. Like a lot of things that, like, I understood the first part of the book. The second part of the book, my dear, I'm still trying to figure it out. Anyway, that's like basically it. And then there's
magical realism in this book, in that they are talking animals, like there's a lot of talking animals, and I feel like that's like the best part of this book for me, just watching the interaction between the different animals. They were talking crows, talking cats, talking sharks and whales. It was really nice. I really enjoyed that part. Apart from that, I still don't understand or completely grasp what I read, so I think that is like my entire review. I did not completely understand it, but there were some aspects of this book that I really liked. So the next book I read was Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola. I love this book. This book is basically about two university students, two black university students. So there's Kiki Banjo. She's the female main character. So she has this podcast where she talks about different things, but mostly centers around black women and relationship and things like that. So we have that, and then there's this new person, this new guy that just came to the school. He's really fine, he's very popular, everybody likes him. His name is Malachi. And so Kiki meets Malachi one time, and just from that, her first meeting, she just decides that he's a fuckboy. Nobody should trust him. He's an ashawo. He's going to break the hearts of women. So she goes on her podcast and she just starts telling the girlies why Malachi, what's his surname again, should not be trusted. Like, she just like, oh, this boy's a fuckboy. Today is with Angela, tomorrow is with Freda. Don't trust him. He's going to break your heart. Stay away. She even gives him a new name, calls him the waste man of Whitewall or something like that. She's just going off on the young man. So clearly, Malachi is not happy that his reputation is being tarnished. So I can't even remember if they had a conversation around it. I can't remember. But anyway, one thing led to another, and now Kiki has to be in a fake relationship with said Malachi that she already, remember that she trashed him on her podcast basically. And so if you want to know why Malachi, after everything that occurred, still agreed to be in this fake relationship with her, read the book to find out. But anyway, the story goes from there. I really love this book. If you love fake dating, like that's like your trope, the trope you fuck with, read this book, because all the feels. I love Malachi is my boy. Like, that's my son right there. I love the way Malachi treats Kiki. Like, I like it when characters go the extra mile for the people they like not necessarily that they are flying them up and down, throwing money at them, but like the little things they do, or they know that this person likes this, so they go out of their way to ensure that this person gets this thing that they really like. And it doesn't even have to be a big thing. Like, I love things like that in books. So Malachi is my boy. I love that. I love Malachi. He just, that's this thing. Anyway, I really like this book. Another thing I want to mention is the audiobook. Like, I feel like if you're going to read this book, you should read the audiobook. Like, the narrator, her name is Weruche Opia. She did a fantastic job. I feel like her narration really brings life to this book. So I highly recommend listening to the audiobook, because the narrator did a fantastic job. And I'll always sing her praises, because I feel like she made me like the book even more, because her narration was just on point. Anyway, that's it for Honey and Spice. I really love this book, by the way. I think I gave this 4 stars. Yes, I think I gave this 4 stars. Either 4 or 5, I can't remember.